been provided to the Coast Star, the official newspaper of the Borough, Belmar, and the Asbury Park Press, and notice of this meeting was posted on the bulletin board of the municipal building. Take roll call. Councilwoman Donovan?
Here.
Councilwoman?
Here.
Mayor Buckafusco?
Here.
Councilwoman Rodinero?
Here.
Councilman Levis?
Here.
Please stand for the pledge of allegiance.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please remain standing for a moment of silence for our troops, their families, the first responders, and for the passing of Justin Sokol and his family. Thank you. Are there any items for workshop tonight?
Mayor, I circulated to everyone a copy of our flood insurance coverage assessment. Last one we did was in September 2019. It's been revised as of April. Christine Bell, who's our floodplain administrator, sent this as part of our 5-year CRS renewal process, that the council received this and acknowledge at a meeting that they received it and reviewed it.
Thank you.
Curious, April, like, can you give us like a overview? Does this mean that we are going to have to carry mandatory flood insurance for homes that don't currently have to carry flood insurance, or do you know what this means?
I think it's the same as the 2019. It hasn't been changed, I think, since
Has it not been
2019.
changed since 2019?
No, it's been very minimal change. FEMA's had some turnover in their office, and we haven't really received any guidance back from them. So we're just re-adopting the same thing.
Any other questions? Other items for workshop? If not, let's move on to petitions.
Mayor, I did not receive any petitions. Approval of minutes. Can I have a motion to approve the July 8th meeting minutes?
Motion. Second.
Councilman Donovan?
Yes.
Councilman Kenny?
Yes.
Mayor Buckafusco?
Yes.
Councilman Rodinero?
Yes.
Councilman Levis?
Yes. Okay, reports of council. Reports of council. Councilwoman Donovan.
At the Harbor Commission, we're continuing to listen to the concerns of our marina community about the ongoing bridge project. We were very heartened to see the announcement from DOT about the delay, that the bridge will be open in August and closed again in October. And we continue to hope and work towards finding creative and straightforward solutions to the issues that it causes when it's closed for the entire community. Likewise with Tourism Commission. So it continues to be an ongoing concern that we're trying to address. That's about it. Thank you. Oh, sorry. And the Belmar Women's Club is having a fundraiser at Jersey. You can use it on your apps at JM Gives, or you can go to the Jersey Mike's here in town and use and let them know that you would like a donation to the Belmar Women's Club. Thank you. On Wednesday.
Okay, Councilwoman Donovan. Kenny.
Thank you. Okay, so recreation and soccer signups are still happening for the fall, so sign your kids up for fall soccer. This Friday concert at 6 p.m. is Joe and the Highland Express, so come out and see the bands in the plaza this Friday. Shade Tree Commission at the meeting that they had last week, the commission met with the newly appointed arborist Bill Brash, who is a pretty well-known expert in the field of trees. Mr. Brash offered advice to the commission and is helping with issues of increased risk of bad trees in the borough. The commission is also working with the borough's planning board technical review committee, and is weighing on trees for the Vermilla landscape plans, which are the Repetti project. They're already putting their landscape architecture plans in place. So that's good that they work together with our commission, shared agreement on what's safe and appropriate to plant. The skate park committee will be selling snacks and t-shirts tomorrow night at Movies on the Beach, which I believe is The Incredibles, but I'm not 100% sure. That happens at around 8:45 at night. And that's all I have.
Thank you. Council President Rondinero.
Thank you, Mayor. The Belmar Library will be closing early tomorrow at 5 p.m. to get ready for their outdoor concert with the Black Ties. So please come join us on the lawn at 6 p.m. for a great show. Bring your lawn chairs. Additionally, the Beach Music Rock Kids Band will be performing this Saturday morning at 11 a.m. at Circle of Friends Cafe at 1709 Main Street in Lake Como. So if you can come out to support them, that'd be great. I did speak to Belmar Housing Authority Director Paul DeSantis today. I was told that August 1st will be the first opportunity the public will be able to access a new tenant application. On August 1st, it will also be available online at the Belmar Housing Authority website, and also copies will be given to us here at Borough Hall to give out. The BHA is currently waiting on HUD to approve their environmental impact report that's been completed to move up to the next step of receiving the grant money for the facade repair. Additionally, they are waiting until the end of August to find out if the Weatherization Engineer Agency can provide an in-house training that may cut the cost of the work needed to fix weatherization issues with the windows in the apartments. After we had a resident fall in the building, there were some concerns with this resident about police being able to gain access into her apartment. I did find out that the Belmar Police Department does have full access to the BHA building. However, there's not a master key to enter individual apartments. So I've discussed this with both Mr. DeSantis and Chief Scott. I'm hoping that they're able to make that happen. Lastly, I just wanted to extend my condolences to the family and friends of Justin Sokol. His mother, Colleen, and his sister, Erin, are both employees of the borough. So many of his family members are rooted in Belmar and around this community. And have dedicated themselves to Belmar and making it such a beautiful place to live. Councilwoman Donovan, Councilman Levis, and I have our kids growing up with his two boys, and our hearts are with them, his family and friends, and he will be missed. Thanks.
Councilwoman Levis.
Thank you, Mayor. I'd like to start by congratulating our very own April Claudio on achieving the rank of Master Municipal Clerk. Take a round of applause. I also want to give a shout out to our junior lifeguards and their director, Nicolette Contella, for running a really successful junior lifeguard tournament last week. That was really fun. The kids had a blast. And if you can't get enough, there is another tournament tomorrow, the USLA Mid-Atlantic Regionals in Seagirt starting at 10 a.m. So if you want to see Belmar junior lifeguards do it again, head on down to the beach in Seagirt. But also come to Belmar. That's all I have.
Okay, thank you. Once again, one of the council people have stolen my report about congratulating April for her Master of Municipal Clerk. But you can't do that too much, so you get a second congratulation. Thank you. The only other thing I'll point out is, I think maybe for the first time last night we had the planning board meeting, and at our suggestion, they actually had a video representation of a lot of the diagrams and things. And typically, when you go to a planning board meeting, they have the big charts and they're down there, and no one can really see them. So we had recommended at the TDRC meeting that they might want to utilize our services to put some of that up on the screen, and I think it was very effective. There weren't hardly any members of the public there, but I think all in all it was a good thing and something that they might want to suggest to future developers when they come in, especially if they have a lot of charts and pictures and things like that. But it worked out very well. So that's all I have. I guess next we're on to the public session on the resolutions only. I'm going to keep track of the 5 minutes. I have my little screen up here. I could be obnoxious and just hold it up here like this, but I think I'll just keep it on my side here, and if you get close, I'll just kind of raise it up and you'll see that your time is running out. Okay, so does anyone have any comments on the resolutions that are on the agenda? If not,
Can I have a motion to close the public session?
I'll make my motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Can I have a motion to approve the resolutions as listed on the consent agenda?
I'll make the motion.
Second.
Councilwoman Donovan?
Yes.
Councilwoman McKinney?
Yes.
Mayor Buckles?
Yes.
Councilman Romanero?
Yes.
Councilman Levis?
Yes.
Okay, next we have second reading and public hearing on bond ordinance 2025-15, providing for various capital improvements and acquisitions. This is open for public hearing. If anyone would like to comment on the ordinance, please step forward. Seeing none, can I have a motion to close the public hearing?
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And a motion to adopt ordinance 2025-15.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
Councilman Donovan?
Yes.
Councilwoman McKinney?
Yes.
Mayor Buckles?
Yes.
Councilman Romanero?
Yes.
Councilman Levis?
Yes.
Next is second reading and public hearing on ordinance 2025-16. This is a bond ordinance providing for various water sewer utility improvements. This is open for public hearing. If anyone would like to comment on the ordinance? Can I have a motion to close the public hearing?
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And a motion to adopt ordinance 2025-16.
Motion.
Second.
Councilman Donovan?
Yes.
Councilwoman McKinney?
Yes.
Mayor Buckles?
Yes.
Councilman Romanero?
Yes.
Councilman Levis?
Yes.
Next is second reading and public hearing on ordinance 2025-17, an ordinance providing for a special emergency appropriation of $125,000 for repairs to the Marina H dock. This is open for public comment. If anyone would like to speak, please step forward, state your name and address.
Anita Buckle, First Avenue. So what happened to the marina? What happened to the J dock? What's the emergency?
This was in conjunction with work that we were already doing at the marina, and since we had the people there with the barge, there were certain docks that had to be repaired at the same time. And
So it's not an emergency? It was just-
it's an emergency in the sense that we needed to allocate the money
Emergency
for that.
appropriation.
Yeah, it's an appropriation emergency.
Oh,
Right.
okay, I get it.
Right.
All right.
Thank you. Any other comments?
Can I have a motion to close the public hearing?
I'll make the motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And can I have a motion to adopt ordinance 2025-17?
Motion.
Second.
Councilman Donovan?
Yes.
Councilman McKinney?
Yes.
Mayor Buckles?
Yes.
Councilman Romanero?
Yes.
Councilman Levis?
Yes.
Next is second reading and public hearing on ordinance 2025-18. It's a capital ordinance providing for the repair of real property located within the borough of Belmar. This is open for public comment, if anyone would like to speak on it.
Mr. Creamer?
Eugene Creamer, Fourth Avenue. Eugene Creamer, Fourth Avenue. This is good. I'm assuming this is the senior building, Belmar Housing Authority over here.
Correct.
$676,000. That may sound like a lot of money, but gee, that's a six-story building, isn't it? I guess what my question is, have we, and of course, this I understand is just for the facade, and there's also weatherization work and so on that has to be done. Have we exhausted all opportunities for getting additional funds for the work over there? You know, I hate to see those people go through another winter with the wind blowing through that place. I got a feeling it's going to take a little bit more than just a little bit of talk.
If I may, the borough really has no role in the oversight of the Belmar Housing Authority in terms of listing what needs to be done and all that. That's all involved with the Belmar Housing Authority Board. The reason why we have this on here is because of the fact that the money has to go through the borough to the Belmar Housing Authority. So we're not involved in the making a plan of what needs to be fixed and what doesn't need to be fixed and so on. This was an error that they made in HUD, where they put our name as Belmar Municipality instead of Belmar Housing Authority. So had they done it correctly, we wouldn't even be seeing this, because all of that money would be going directly to the Housing Authority. But because of consulting with our auditors, they said, we needed to do this to actually have a capital ordinance, and then we will be transferring the money to the Belmar Housing Authority, and we'll be finished with it. I think I'm correct, right, Mr. Kane? Yeah? No?
Yes, exactly, Mayor. What happens, the BHA is a sub-recipient of this federal HUD grant. And as the Mayor said, instead of it saying Belmar Housing Authority, it came through the borough of Belmar. If we would have changed the name, they would have had to rescind this grant and start all over, which would have been in the next cycle, and there's a good chance they wouldn't have received it at all. So instead of doing that, all we did was make them a sub-recipient. They're handling all the work and everything, just that the money comes from HUD to us, directly to them. That's the only thing.
Okay, in other words, it's like a pass-through.
Correct.
Okay, passing it through the municipality.
We'll certainly, pass through your comments to the Housing Authority to address the things that you just mentioned. That they would need to look at. Sure, go ahead.
Mr. Kramer, you're absolutely right. $676,000 is not going to cut it. I'll have to say, when we first put in for the grant, that was a pretty good estimate at the time for what was needed with what the cost of supplies and labor were at that time. So this has been years now, and unfortunately we have it's more repair to do, and we're going to get as much done in the worst area as possible first with the facade, but we do have more emergency funding coming from HUD. And this is something that we all could be asking Congressman Smith and anyone at the state and federal level to advocate for more money for our Belmar Housing Authority building, because it does need it. It's in desperate need of repair. Thank you.
Okay, very good. Actually, one of the reasons I was bringing this up is the borough now has a grant consultant, right, to advise
Yes, we do.
when there's grant money available for different types of projects in town here. I'm wondering whether they had taken a look at that building there. I'm not talking here about taking over, administration. They got their own organization, that's for sure. But is there any way that perhaps by even just using our consultants to make the housing authority at least aware that there is available funding? I just as a long shot, years ago when I was on the environmental commission, we had surveyed all the buildings within town, trying to find candidates for solar. And I don't recall whether that was up on the list, but it was on the list. I mean, you have a 6-story building that I'm sure in the summertime, on the side of the building that faces 8th Avenue, those people are probably frying in there during the summer, and then in the winter they're freezing. I guess what perhaps, and this is to help them out, this doesn't help the municipality, other than the fact that we know that the seniors are being well taken care of. But I just wanted to find out whether there was any opportunity to perhaps take a look at that and see whether they may be unaware of programs that may improve the efficiency of the building or the sustainability of it. And I know that there still is money available in the state of New Jersey for that type of weatherization and solar. Plus,
I don't know what their ability is to search through the grants, and I don't know if our consultant has, yeah, they're really for the borough itself. But I would imagine that the director must get some information on grants, because they obviously are getting grants.
Yeah,
So,
we've brought a few things to his attention, a few grants to his attention. Actually, several members of the audience have brought some opportunities of possible funding. And so it does go through the director and the Board of Commissioners. I think that, you know, if you do find something, or if we are, you know, we have talked to our consultants at Millennium. I have asked them, if you see anything, please let me know. It wouldn't be them looking for it. It would be, you know, me passing it on to someone else to see if, you know, if it's okay, but it does need to be approved fully by their board.
I will say that I believe that the federal tax incentives for solar have been wiped out in the last federal budget, so.
But we'll, you know, I think what Maria was saying too, if we come across, if our consultant, you know, knows of any, he'll let us know, and then we will have to pass that on to the Housing Authority and the commissioners.
We've had that
So,
conversation.
okay?
Very good, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Anita about First Avenue. So does this mean the money's here and the work will start?
I don't know exactly if the money is here.
I know that they were still waiting at some point for HUD to approve their environmental impact study. So I don't know whether we actually have that. April, do you know whether we received anything yet? Okay, I don't think we have.
They're in full control.
Do they have a contract, or they have to go out to bid? again?
They do have to go out to bid.
All right, so,
So the bid hasn't been put out?
right.
Bid has not been put out.
What exactly is the environmental impact? Is it just siding that they're trying to put up on the building?
So I think they have to just make sure that there's nothing that needs to be remediated, that everything seems A-okay. It's just kind of a check the box situation, and it's done. That part's done. It's done. Yeah, it's done. HUD has what they need.
Any other comments?
Can I have a motion to close the public hearing?
I'll make the motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Can I have a motion to adopt ordinance 2025-18?
Motion.
Second.
Councilwoman Donovan?
Yes.
Councilwoman Kinney?
Yes.
Mayor Buckles?
Yes.
Councilman Rondinaro?
Yes.
Councilman Levis?
Yes.
All right, now we're on to the regular public session. If anyone would like to speak, please remember to state your name and address.
Anita Buckley, First Avenue. I know I expect to speak to the mayor, but this is really for Dr. Kinney. As our lone Republican on the board, I assume you voted for this president. And I need you to help me understand how this president is opposed to the starvation and killing of human beings and the begging for food in Gaza. And as are the Belmar Republicans, proud of the president's human trafficking to the third world countries under the cover of ICE. And can you please tell me what I should say to the Belmartians that stand to lose health benefits and food assistance? Also, as your president speaks of dismantling FEMA, the agency that helps with storm recovery, and we watch the deadly flooding and the poor response and preparedness, what should we say to the Belmartians going forward? And your president has blocked the funding for school and ESL, aftercare, and summer programs. What can I say to the school children and the staff that are going to be affected by this?
So, those are federal issues. This is a Belmar municipal meeting. Those matters aren't directly in front of us. So the statement is made. I don't think there's any need for an answer.
Thank you.
Thank you. Get up and speak.
Okay. Hi, I'm Missy Nally. I live in the senior building. Okay, I want to tell you what happened on July 4th. I fell in my apartment at night around 10 o'clock, And for those of you who don't know, I had bilateral hip replacements, knee replacements, and ankle fusions. So I couldn't get up off the floor. I had to crawl on my hands and knees to get the phone. I called the superintendent of our building, no answer. And then I called the police immediately, and they were at the building within 2 minutes. The problem was they could not get in my apartment because they had no master key. It took them about 8 minutes to get Mike to come up to open the door. They were wonderful. They got me up off the floor, put me into a big chair, put ice packs on my legs, gave me water bottle, my remote TV control. Just wanted to make sure I was okay. They're very concerned and caring. I want everybody to know that's the way the police operate. They're wonderful. And I'm very, very grateful for that. Now I want to point out a couple of things. The fact that I had to wait 8 minutes for someone to get into my apartment is very concerning. Suppose someone's having a heart attack, a stroke, a severe reaction to medication. That's way too long. Every second counts. We know that. Okay. Now there is a solution to this. It's called, Mr. Kramer mentioned at the last council meeting, it's called the knockbox. And the Goodwill Fire Department has it. What you do is you put the master key in the knockbox, and it has a special access code. That knockbox can be placed right at the office, in front of the office room at our building. So the police will have access immediately, getting right into the apartment. Okay. I also want to point out, Maria and Sandy mentioned the tenant have fallen at our last Belmar Housing Authority meeting, July 7th. And Paul just like blew it off. I said, oh, I'll follow it up with Chief Scott. Here it is 3 weeks later. We're still waiting. That's wrong. That amount of time lapse is wrong. Something, it could happen any time. Someone goes through something very serious in our building. And Paul is liable for any injuries to our tenants. I don't understand why there's no sense of well-being for the tenants, concern for their safety. This has to be addressed immediately. You can't wait for the next Belmar Housing Authority meeting in August. The time span is too long. I also want to point out, I heard that one of the reasons they don't want a master key is because some tenants feel it's an invasion of their privacy. I don't know where that's coming from. I personally would be grateful to have that the knockbox in their building. So please don't kind of open it and start looking at everybody's apartment. I can guarantee you that. It's not an invasion of privacy. And I hope you to follow up with this. It's extremely important. Thank you.
I have a question. Councilwoman Maldonado, is there a master key for all the rooms in the Belmar Housing Authority?
There is. Paul DeSantis has one, and well, Mike, the superintendent, I don't know about Paul, but Mike, the superintendent, does have one, but he's not always available. So I think that it really does make, in my opinion, is it really does make sense to have access to the apartments. Chief Scott did tell me, though, she said, listen, if there's an emergency, we'll get in, we'll break in. But if that's, if this is something that the tenants want, I personally think it's an excellent idea.
Yeah,
And I thank Mrs. Manley for coming up and advocating for this, for her and the other residents.
Yes, thanks, Mrs. Manley, for coming to the meeting and making us more aware.
It doesn't sound like a very high-cost item, this lockbox, but I do think the commissioners need to put their stamp of approval on that. I don't think we could just go and put a lockbox on another building that we don't own. I mean, they're the ones who need to make the decision that, yes, we're going to do this, and then take speedy action in order to do it. So
Could we, as a
hopefully
council, write a letter in support of this idea?
we could. I mean,
I
obviously.
mean, I spoke to Paul today. I certainly can write a letter to I think that would be great.
Even an email, I think,
Sure.
saying, we discussed it at the meeting, and the entire council is in favor of the housing authority reaching out to the fire department to purchase one of these things and put it in as soon as possible.
I feel like I'm missing something. Is there any reason why a master key can't just live at the police department itself?
So if I could answer that just real quick. As to what was said before, some of the residents might not want us to have access to their apartment. So there's a fine line between emergencies and the constitutionally protected property that you may rent. That would be like me saying, why doesn't everybody on the board give us a key to their house in case there's an emergency? That's where there's a fine line. There is a Knox box at the Belmar Housing Authority. There is one there. The fire department has access to it. It is on the outside of the building. So I've been in contact with the fire department about our responses there, and if we needed to call out a fire truck so they can unlock that so we can get into an apartment, we're setting up a protocol with Chief Scott. I was speaking to her before regarding this. So.
Okay, very good. Thanks. Thanks. Yep.
Sandy Caputo, Surf Avenue. By Knox, we're talking about what the real estate agents use. Is that what we're, no? Oh, okay.
So it's similar. So what happens is in each one of the fire apparatuses, along with the fire chief's truck, is a master set of keys that is locked. In order for that to be unlocked, a signal is sent via the radio from the police headquarters to unlock that box.
Oh.
So that way you can unlock the Knox box. So it's a series to get it done.
Okay, thank you.
That is to protect
Yes, okay.
the individual buildings from just a fire department member just taking the keys and unlocking anybody that has a Knox box. So it has to be unlocked by the police department to the fire department, and then they can enter the building.
Okay, thank you for that explanation. I wasn't sure. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Are there any other comments? Go ahead.
Sorry, Mayor, I know we have to go into exec, but just to add to Councilman Donovan's comment about the bridge, in our call with the DOT and in my communications with the Commissioner's office, what they did is they reinforced the concrete on the broken side, on the north leaf of the bridge, with the idea that by reinforcing the concrete, they're hoping that the mechanics of it can still operate. The problem is, it's a very, very heavily used drawbridge, one of the busiest in the state because of the marina traffic. So the thing is, the mechanics of the bridge are what need to be replaced. And the part is being manufactured in Florida as we speak, and it's being expedited. They couldn't put a date on it because they don't know when the actual delivery date of this piece is going to be. So what they're doing, by reinforcing the concrete, they think that they're going to be able to hopefully operate this bridge as they normally do. However, there's no guarantees that the mechanics of this thing may go at some point. They're hoping that they can get through until in the fall, late in the fall, when they can close it and fully fix the bridge. But for right now, they've listened to the mayor and council of Belmar and Avon, the businesses and the residents, and they came up with an idea to try to keep it open for the summer. However, they wanted to emphasize that there's no guarantees that this is going to work until the fall. So I just want to put that on record just to make sure everybody knows that.
So is that the fix that's going to happen in August, this reinforcement of the concrete?
They're in the process of doing that, so mid-August, they're hoping that concrete's all in place, and it's going to be enough support to handle, the opening and closing of the old mechanics, but the mechanisms are what have to be replaced.
Okay, so just to be clear, they're not going to have the parts by August?
Correct.
Mayor, can I just jump in for a minute?
Sure.
Hey, Paul, are we on the vote for 22518?
No, we're on public session.
We took that vote? Oh, okay, I'm sorry.
That was it for me.
That's it, okay. Did we close the public session?
Not yet.
Okay, let's close the public session.
Can I have a motion to close the public session?
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Next, we have a resolution authorizing executive session, whereas it has been determined by the Borough Council that it is necessary to discuss the following specific matter at its regular meeting in the absence of the public, which is pending litigation, whereas the Open Public Meetings Act permits the Borough Council to exclude the public from that portion of a public meeting during which such matters are discussed. Now therefore be it resolved that the Borough Council shall recess into a private executive session from which the public shall be excluded to discuss the above referenced matters, that the scope of the aforesaid executive session shall be limited to the above matters, that those matters discussed in executive session shall remain confidential until such time as the need for confidentiality no longer exists, that minutes of the closed session shall be taken and kept free from public review until such time that the need for confidentiality no longer exists, and that the regular meeting shall resume after the private executive session, at which time the council may take action in reference to the topic discussed. We have a motion to offer this resolution.
Motion.
Second.
Councilman Donovan?
Yes.
Councilman Kenny?
Yes.
Mayor Bucklesko?
Yes.
Councilman Rondinero?
Yes.
Councilman Levis?
Yes.